The 12 News I-Team has obtained records detailing the number of times Gilbert police have been called to the Santan Village In-N-Out. It comes after we've reported on multiple teens who were viciously assaulted in the fast food restaurant parking lot, leaving victims bloodied, often needing medical attention. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono analyzed those numbers and has the story.
Guns, gas masks, and fights. That's what police in Gilbert have responded to at the In-N-Out near Williamsfield Road in Val Vista. 12 News obtaining police data showing since January of 2020, not including proactive patrol watches in the area, Gilbert police have responded to calls to the In-N-Out around 250 times. About 80 involved teens, meaning 30% of all calls.
It was around dinner time on a Thursday night, and he was simply waiting to meet up with a friend.
Stephanie Jarnigan's son was one of those calls. On December 30th, 2022, he was approached by a group of teens in the parking lot, assaulted by a suspect wearing brass knuckles.
He immediately felt blood gushing down his head and back.
Rick Keener's son was attacked by a group in that same parking lot on August 18th of last year.
He was bleeding all over the place, and he didn't have shoes on because they stole his shoes.
And they're not alone. The data shows 8 reports of teen assaults or fights, plus 20 juvenile disturbance calls. In one case, at least 50 juveniles getting rowdy, where one person had a holstered handgun wearing a gas mask. In another call, a group of a dozen juveniles in the parking lot where one man brandished a gun. In another case, a group of 20 kids banging on the glass trying to fight people inside, possibly using brass knuckles. 2 people were hurt. Plus, multiple incidents of large groups driving recklessly, shooting airsoft guns, and setting off fireworks.
We've done an analysis of all of our calls for 4 years at In-N-Out.
On January 18th, Gilbert Police Chief Michael Solberg discussing this data before it was released.
In those cases, there were 8 calls in 4 years of a fight at In-N-Out. Of those 8 cases, only 3 times was a report made. And let me clarify. In those 3 times, we were able to get there, identify suspects, and all the other times they were gone when we arrived.
Gilbert Police says they've upped patrols at In-N-Out in response to an increase of assaults involving juveniles in the area.
Bianca joins me now for the backstory. Bianca, 250 plus calls in 4 years to one location. About a third of those calls involved teens. Did those numbers surprise you as much as it did me?
Yeah, and look, we know that a place like In-N-Out, shopping centers like this are going to be popular spots for teenagers to hang out, right? Especially when we're talking about 18 and under. But yes, the number of calls they've gotten there totally surprised me. But even more surprising than the number were the nature of these calls. We're talking about dozens and dozens of teens just being reckless in the parking lot. One of the cases we mentioned there, teens banging on the glass, trying to fight people inside, using brass knuckles. It's pretty shocking when you read the details of what police are facing here. I also want to point out we did reach out to In-N-Out for a comment, and so far we still have not heard back.
Okay, yeah, that would be interesting. You know, as a manager of In-N-Out, you got to be a little proactive of what's happening in your parking lot. Okay, I want to get to the records request. You requested it over a month ago. You just received it. How does that process work? Walk the viewers through that.
Yeah, so we put the records request in for calls for service data. Typically what we get in response for a records request like that is raw data. In this case, we did get that raw data, but Gilbert Police also provided us with their own analyzing of this data. So, you know, bar graphs, pie charts, and things of that nature where they analyze the numbers themselves. To be transparent, we chose to work with the raw data and come to our conclusions.
And analyze it yourself.
Exactly. We analyze it ourselves. We have a great data journalist on our team here at 12 News who worked with me on this, spent hours going through all of these calls. There were lots of duplicates in the data, so you have to weed through it, and lots of work in Excel to come up with these conclusions. But yeah, we analyze it in-house.
Yeah, I know. Katie Wilcox, she's our executive producer of Special Projects. You guys worked tight on this. Okay, I got to be honest with you. I was confused with what the Gilbert Police said in the last part of your interview. Can you clarify what he meant?
Yeah, absolutely. And that was from the first press conference that he held. And what he was essentially saying was they've responded to 8 assaults or fights involving juveniles in the past 4 years. And in only 3 of those instances, by the time they responded, were anybody still involved still there. So in most cases, when they're responding to these calls, by the time they get there, the juveniles involved are long gone. You know, a teen probably hears, hey, somebody called the police, let's get out of here. So that adds to the challenge of what police are facing here.
Okay, so what are you working on for tonight?
Yeah, so we put in a lot of records requests to Gilbert Police. We got more of those records back over the weekend, so we'll have much more from those records tonight, including taking a closer look at the police response to one of these assault cases that happened in that In-N-Out parking lot.
All right, looking forward to that report. Bianca, thank you so much.